YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Crypto G coming at you with another J Talks Crypto. If you're brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification. I do my best each and every day to give you guys the top picks in cryptocurrency. Guys, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We've now been doing this since Bitcoin has hit 3,000 and Bitcoin today coming in at 7. I want to know, is this the bottom of the cycle? We're going to talk about it today. There's a lot of indicators that are flashing right now that are showing that Bitcoin could have possibly hit a bottom. I know this is totally crazy, but not too crazy, right? We know that midterms are coming up. We know that this is Q4. This tends to be the time kind of where if Bitcoin's going to shake and move, it does tend to shake and move at this point in time. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Bitcoin is about to see a massive pump, or do you think that this is just another dirty fake out from the bears? Again, we've been in the nastiest bear cycle, just absolutely dirty, right? Bitcoin shooting all the way up to 120, dropping all the way down to 60K. And you know what, guys? I told you guys in my last live stream, which was a couple months ago, that Bitcoin needed to possibly see a retest of 60K before it could jump up. As a matter of fact, I said this last year. I said last year, guys, that Bitcoin needed to see a retest of that 60K range. But was it enough? Is Bitcoin going to start to rally now? We're going to talk about it, as well as start to talk about some of these leading stories that are leading into this possible bull cycle. Like, what is starting to drive this market up? We're going to talk about it today. Again, if this is your first time on the channel, make sure that you hit that like button and make sure that you hit that follow button. We actually got the channel demonetized like a genius a couple months ago, but that's okay because we are working back to get the channel monetized. Can't do it without you guys though, so make sure that you guys are supporting this video. Share it over on live too, because we're trying to get the watch hours up, as well as I'm going to share this on live as well right now real quick just before we get started. But again, Bitcoin coming in at 72K, guys. What does this mean? What does this mean? I want to know what you guys think. Are you thinking that it is time for Bitcoin to make a rally? We do know, again, that if Bitcoin is going to do something, it tends to do something at this point in time. And a lot of the crypto space starting to wake up right now, including some of the biggest YouTubers on YouTube. So again, does this indicate that we might see another altcoin cycle? I want to just show you guys some of the stuff that's going on over on X, because everybody's going absolutely crazy. Even CoinMarketCap tweeting out 2 hours ago at 2 in the morning, guys. They were tweeting out at 2 in the morning. Bitcoin or crypto today. Everybody's feeling the vibe, right? Interesting, interesting. Also, Watcher Guru tweeting out. A lot of big YouTubers tweeting out. Cointelegraph even tweeting out, talking about the Crypto Clarity Act, which we will talk about the Crypto Clarity Act. Maybe not in this video. I want this video to be more of a TA type of video, because I know that's what you guys are really looking for. The news is great, but you want to know, again, is this a possible bottom to the cycle? So as a matter of fact, before we get too far into this, I want to pull up Bitbo right here. This is a website that we've been using to determine cycle tops on the channel for years now. So let's see it again if Bitcoin is showing signs of a recovery. Bitcoin, as you guys can see at the time of the video, coming in at 71.8. Absolutely off to a great start. And some of these indicators also showing on the 7-day that are we seeing a recovery, right? We see right here Bitcoin starting to create this bull flag and really breaking out of this 68 range and starting to move its way up to some higher levels of resistance, right? As you guys can see here. And this run can actually be pretty significant. And this is what I was saying even the other day when Bitcoin had hit 68K. I was saying, is this a possible sign of a recovery? You can see we're breaking key resistance here. And again, Bitcoin having some leg room to start making a recovery. But is it going to be enough, or is Bitcoin absolutely these long-term indicators? Because this is what I'm paying attention to, and honestly, this is the first time I'm looking at this today, so I figured why not look at this with you guys live, because again, we've been talking about the need for Bitcoin to touch that 60K mark before we can start talking about a recovery, and it happened, and Bitcoin did bounce quite significantly. Which do we want to check out here first? um Let's look at the rainbow chart. I'm a big fan of the rainbow. I'm a big fan of all these charts, but I'm going to be looking at this rainbow chart first, making some pretty significant signals right now that we are in a possible zone of accumulation, right? As you guys can see, it kind of it indicates our bottoms and our tops pretty decently, right? Whenever Bitcoin has dropped below, especially this blue line, it is in the heavily oversold zone, and Bitcoin still in this heavily oversold zone, right? But are we starting to see a recovery? Can Bitcoin start making another move up? You could see here, especially in our last top over here, Bitcoin create this shoulder head shoulder, this bearish pattern, drop all the way down into the blue and create another shoulder head shoulder, drop down below the blue. And again, we've done this in the past. We've done it right here. We've done it right here, right? We had a huge run up. We had a pullback. Bitcoin drops down to some dangerously low levels of sold and then makes a humongous run up. Guys, this could be the start of another Bitcoin run. This could really be the start of another Bitcoin run. You could see every time that we've had a halving, right? Halving. So this is actually indicating that Bitcoin might go on a run. You could see between this halving and this halving, we had a high, right? Between this halving and this halving, we had a high. Well, guess what? We're between this halving and this halving, and Bitcoin is starting to make a recovery. Is it going to start making a run up before having a halving in 2028? Interesting. A lot of signs and indicators pointing to the fact that we might have found a bottom on Bitcoin. If you guys think that we found a bottom on Bitcoin, let me know in the comment section. I want to start looking at some of these other indicators too, because again, very interesting what's going on with Bitcoin, right? Let's see with this cycle chart as well, right? Every time Bitcoin has been able to break its way above this orange line, it's made a run, right? You could see it here. You could see it here where we're in this free fall, and then Bitcoin crosses over this line and starts making a big run. We start seeing some new highs. You can see this is our top right here, and we've seen a drop ever since. But doesn't this cycle look a lot like this cycle right here where our last top was also? Bitcoin makes this huge drop. We start trending below this moving average, this 200-day moving average, and then again, Bitcoin makes a cross and starts to run. This has happened many times in Bitcoin history, and this is indicators that we look for that are showing signs of a possible recovery. Now, we've had fake outs in the past where we thought that this was going to make a recovery, right? Like here, we crossed over this orange line, but it was a fake. We rejected off of it and we dropped down again, heading into some lower levels. But even when we were below this moving average here, right, this 145-day moving average, it's tend to be a zone of accumulation, which again, we were talking about the fact that Bitcoin was heavily oversold. And again, look, here we are sitting below this moving average here. Was this a sign again that we saw a bottom at 60K? This is what we were saying years ago, that we needed to see a retest of that 60K range. Was that accurate? We've been accurate in the past on these things. But again, I do think that Bitcoin is showing signs of making recovery. What does this mean for altcoins? What's this going to mean for another altcoin cycle? I do think it's time to start paying attention to some of these bigger blockchains, things like Solana and Ethereum. That's what I would be paying attention to the most right now, because if there is going to be an altcoin cycle, people are going to need those coins in order to be buying and purchasing. So again, let's look at some of these other indicators, right? Every time Bitcoin's touching this bottom level support, this red line, we've seen a jump, right? And look at Bitcoin, just like right here, when Bitcoin was riding this red line right here, started making a recovery, and we've seen a top to this cycle. Are we going to see something similar? Same thing right here. Bitcoin touches this bottom level of support and starts to jump, but it couldn't break up here. Again, we had our rejection off of this 200-day moving average, a drop down, and Bitcoin retesting this bottom level support, and again, making another possible run. I do think, guys, that we have something forming here. There's a good chance that we do have something forming here. We know that we have the Crypto Clarity Act coming up. We know that it's Q4. Interest rates were just lowered not too long ago. So a lot of things are starting to shift in the favor of crypto, which just, it seems like for the past couple of years, things have just not been working in our favor. So it's very refreshing to see, again, that things are starting to favor crypto. But is it enough? Are we going to see the recovery that we have been waiting on, that we have been looking for? Right? I want to look at also some more of these indicators Um, I gotta look at this website because this has been a lot of updates to this website since I've been on here. Okay, cool. So they got the RSI here. Down here, we're going to talk about the RSI. We're going to talk about fear greed index because again, these are indicators that we've used in the past to show us if Bitcoin has started to make recovery or not. So as you guys can see, the RSI really starting to cook now. We've been in this bottom level of red, which again has been a zone of accumulation. Even that we're in right now has been a notorious zone of accumulation, right? Every time we're in this orange, when the market's starting to pick up, it's been an indicator that we could possibly see some new highs on Bitcoin. So I want to know again, are we going to do this? Are we going to see another super cycle like we've seen in the past, or possibly more than we've ever seen, right? There's new people in the market now. Even more people are going to be getting into crypto. This is going to be pretty interesting. Also want to look at this beam indicator too, because this beam indicator also is something that we've used in the past, showing us zones of accumulation, right? Whenever we're in this green zone, it's tended to be a zone of accumulation. Bitcoin now starting to break above this green zone, similar to like kind of how we started doing here, right? Started breaking above this green zone. Bitcoin made a tremendous run up. As a matter of fact, again, Bitcoin coming in from just 60K just on the 12th now to Bitcoin being in at 72. Is this an indicator that we're starting to see signs of a rally? And then, of course, at the top here, this is our short zone here. Bitcoin really only heading up into this zone back in 2018. Bitcoin way overbought. But again, is Bitcoin oversold right now? Are people starting to wake up to the market? Very interesting. I wanted to look at some of these other indicators too. As a matter of fact, I want to market cap right now and look at this fear greed index just because I like this fear greed index a little better. It's the same fear greed index that we've been using for years. As you guys can see, fear greed index today coming in at a 60, which is absolutely crazy because this fear greed index has been very red. As a matter of fact, February 5th was the reddest we've been. We were in the extreme red here, coming in at a whopping 5, right? So we were coming in at a 5 just February 2026, and now Bitcoin coming in at a 61. We were at 60 just a second ago. Now we're at a 61. You can see every time we've been in this red here, again, a zone of accumulation. Bitcoin starting to break up and hit some key levels of resistance. Can Bitcoin break above this and again create new all-time highs? Every time we were able to break out of this yellow zone, we were able to go on and make some serious new all-time highs. Are we going to see 100K Bitcoin possibly even by Christmas? It would not be out of the picture. Again, it's just been 8 days and Bitcoin already going on a tremendous rally. And we know that Bitcoin tends to cook during the holidays, right? We've seen this plenty of times, especially with our altcoin season. But is it altcoin season? Yeah, as you guys can see, altcoin season coming in at a 34 out of 100. Also, let's see what's going on. I want to see what is going on with also with our Bitcoin dominance, right? We're going to check Bitcoin dominance, but I want to check just kind of where we're at with our altcoin season. You guys could see again our low coming in at December 2025. We were at a 14. Our high was at a 78 for altcoin season. This is when things were really starting to look bullish back in 2025. Again, we were not able to make new all-time highs, but can we start seeing some new all-time highs forming pretty soon? This has been the craziest presidency, by the way. But again, we're not talking about that. Bitcoin dominance right here as well. You guys could see when Bitcoin goes on a run like this, altcoins tend to drop, right? But then once Bitcoin drops, altcoins tend to run. So again, Bitcoin starting to run now. Is this a sign that people are starting to accumulate more blue chips and then Bitcoin drops? We'll see a rise in altcoins. This is usually tends to be what we've seen in the past. You guys could see Bitcoin right now, dominance coming in at a 59%. Bitcoin absolutely dominating the market, which is good. This is good for a cycle. This is good for an indicator of can we see a cycle. So these are things that I'm paying attention to. I want to know what you guys are paying attention to also. Let me section what indicators you guys are looking at. Also want to talk about this pi cycle top indicator. I use this as well. Again, every time that we've moved above this 111-day moving average, it's been a sign that Bitcoin, again, could make a rally. We've done it plenty of times here, right? We've crossed this moving average here. Bitcoin see a recovery, as well as cross this moving average here. Bitcoin sees a recovery. Are we going to see something similar? Again, Bitcoin sees this drop. we cross above this moving average, and now Bitcoin again seeing a drop and starting to retest this moving average. A lot of people are asking themselves, are we seeing a bottom on Bitcoin? Is it too early to say, or is this a recovery? In my opinion, guys, again, we needed to see that retest of 60K. We were heavily sold here, right? Every time we're significantly below this 111-day moving average, it tends to be a zone of accumulation. It happened here, it happened here, it happened here. It's happened multiple times, right? And Bitcoin again starting to retest this 111-day moving average. I want to know, can we start to see a run? Again, a lot of signs and indicators starting to point bullish. We're starting to get more bullish news out right now. We have people again starting to talk about crypto. So these are all things that I am starting to pay attention to as well. We cannot ignore the power of Bitcoin. Even though I didn't know honestly if I even wanted to do another cycle, if I wanted to participate, just because I've been having so much going on with the channel and because we've been doing this now for 15 years, and that is quite a long time. But again, I want to know what you guys think. We're going to look also at some of this market. Like I said, some of these coins are going to be pumping harder than others. The ones that I'd be paying attention to, like I said, are the big blockchains. As you guys can see, those are the ones that are moving the most, right? Ethereum, especially. Look at Ethereum coming in at 23K right now. Also, Solana up 15% right now. A lot of these coins that are going to be moving at this time of a cycle would be those types of coins. It's going to be um, blue chips. It's going to be different blockchains. You could see even Avalanche, Sui. I'm very interested to see also what Sui's going to do in this cycle. We've had a lot of speculation in the past. We've known that Ethereum has been our tried and true uh, DeFi blockchain, and then we saw a rise of Solana happen in our last cycle. But a lot of scams, a lot of degenerate play going on with Solana, similar to like what we saw with BNB, which again, BNB did make an amazing run, and BNB is up 5.6, but BNB just has been known as a scam chain. So I'm wondering if Solana is going to maintain a bad reputation like it did at the end of the cycle, right? Everybody launching all these cryptocurrency scams, or maybe this Crypto Clarity Act is going to add some bullish activity to altcoins too. Again, they decided to move that Crypto Clarity Act back for a couple months, which also puts us in line with a cycle forming. It's just very interesting how they keep moving us along and playing out this interesting narrative. But it's definitely something I think that we should be paying attention to. Also, look at Chainlink up 23% in the past 7 days. Absolutely. 4 hours also up 10%. Are people finally going to start seeing value in my favorite cryptocurrency, which is Chainlink? Been bullish on Chainlink since forever. I think people that have been in the cryptocurrencies for long enough, we've all had Chainlink or have been very bullish on Chainlink, and it's just tended to do. But a lot of these blockchains cannot run without an oracle, which is Chainlink. It is what drives that data, and a lot of these different blockchains are running on Chainlink. So again, is this a cycle where we could start seeing something out of Chainlink, or is it not? Also, what's going to happen with XRP? XRP also up 16% today, right? 17% in the past week. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull up XRP just because, again, this is one coin that is known to be able to make waves very fast and also starting to break above some key levels of resistance. Are we going to see XRP, as a matter of fact, shoot all the way up to possibly $2? You can see we don't have much significant resistance on XRP. This is something that I'd be paying attention to. I'm paying attention to these blue chips, guys. This could possibly be the indicator of this bull cycle. Usually starts with Bitcoin, then we see these big again DeFi projects start to run, and then we'll start seeing our altcoins run. You could see here Solana also looking incredibly bullish right now on the monthly chart. Our weekly chart showing again we've just been shooting up, creating these fallen wedges, and then shooting up, fallen wedge, right? Shoots up. Are we going to see Solana possibly see a little bit of sell off into the weekend and then start shooting up next week? That's what I'd be paying attention to right now. I don't think that possibly now is the best time to get in the market just because Bitcoin, again, up 11% in the past 24 hours. But I do think that I would be paying attention very closely to what's going to happen when Bitcoin decides to pull back. Bitcoin now coming in at 72K again. This is another key zone of resistance right here. Can Bitcoin do what it did here. As you guys could see, Bitcoin is shooting up, creating a bull flag, and then ripping up. And now look, creating another bull flag again. Are we going to see 74K Bitcoin? Is this just going to be an epic run right now, or is Bitcoin going to start correcting and acting normal? Somebody said, hey, dude, hope all is well. I think BTC has a bit more dipping to do before we see it explode again. This is similar to what we were just saying, right? Is Bitcoin going to need to see a pullback? I do think that, again, if Bitcoin is up today 12%, possibly need to see a little bit more signs of recovery. Maybe it needs to see some sell off into the weekend, like I was saying, in next week would be a little more clarity on is Bitcoin going to run. But we do know, again, that we've seen some key indicators that have been signs in the past, right? We've seen the lower interest rate. We're seeing that, again, we're in Q4. This tends to be a time that Bitcoin starts to make a run if it's going to make a run. And again, some of these indicators over here are kind of showing me that I'd be paying attention right now. This rainbow chart specifically, very telling, right? Every time we've kind of been in the middle of these halvings, right? We're seeing a new all-time high and we're seeing Bitcoin start to shoot up. And look, we're between this halving and this halving right now, and we have not seen Bitcoin start to rip up. But again, like he was saying, is it too early, right? Bitcoin still needs to show some more signs of confirmation, but in my opinion, we might have seen the confirmation. We might have seen it last night. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen between here and here. Is Bitcoin going to get to our 2028 halving and again drop down, or is this going to be an indicator that we've already seen the bottom and Bitcoin again going to make a recovery? I'm very interested in this. I was not expecting this, but again, I got the notification on my phone. I was like, I have to go live right now, even though it's 6 in the morning here in Ecuador. I've been traveling all over the world. I've just been using this time to kind of get my mind together. And so yeah, we're in Ecuador right now. Got a lot of stuff to do today. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to get my hair braided. But look at this. Also, again, this cycle chart as well. Bitcoin showing that we could possibly see a sign of recovery. These are things that we are looking for. This is a serious sign of a possible recovery right here. There's so many charts saying that this is a sign of possible recovery. And as a matter of fact, I was just testing my brother on the 12th when Bitcoin was just after it touched 62K and it was starting to make a recovery. I was saying, is this the retouch that we needed? We've been talking about the 60K range and how necessary it was that we retest the 60K range for years now, guys. For years, I've been talking about that 60K. And so I'm really wondering, is Bitcoin going to start seeing a recovery now? Or is it just too early to tell? I want to know. You guys let me know in the comment section. Do you think that Bitcoin is starting to make a recovery, or is it just too early to say, right? Back to coin market cap, because again, I want to look at some of these other coins just to see kind of what's going on. Even some of these coins that have been notorious movers on these types of Bitcoin moves, including Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin has been a notorious mover on these types of moves. Also, Shiba Inu been a notorious mover on these types of moves. Are these coins ever going to see a new all-time high? Is it too late for SHIB, or is SHIB still a driving force? We do know that SHIB has a ton of people holding it right now. SHIB coming in, as a matter of fact, at a $2.9 billion market cap and 3 million holders. 3 million people holding SHIB. They're going to get news in the morning that the crypto markets are pumping. Are they going to start rallying behind SHIB? We've seen SHIB go through some amazing rallies in the past. We've also seen SHIB go through some times of dormancy, right? It's just been absolutely sideways movement multiple times on SHIB right before it decides to take off. So again, we've been dropping on SHIB pretty significantly. We haven't seen a run up in a very long time. Is this an oversold asset, or is the hype behind SHIB over? As you guys can see in the past month, SHIB up 15%. In the past just 24 hours alone, SHIB up 10% though, right? And on the weekly as well, starting to show signs of recovery. Is SHIB going to start recovering with the market? Interesting. We do know that some of these coins tend to have bigger amounts of holders, and that's what I'd be paying attention to. Even though I do love the altcoins, we are going to talk about those small micro cap coins that you guys like so much. But again, I'd be paying attention to some of these coins that have already made a name for themselves in the past. This is what we've always done, guys. I've been doing this for 15 years. This is the same mentality that I've always gone to with these cycles. But this is what I'd be paying attention to, especially this upcoming week. This is going to be a very telling week. We do know also that, well, what I've always said in the past is that Bitcoin tends to see fake outs early in the week. And then, around Thursday, this is the rule of Thursdays. It's literally Thursday today, and Bitcoin's coming in at 62. So that's another thing that I'm paying attention to, just because, again, we've used that indicator on this channel forever. This rule of Thursdays and Bitcoin, again, ripping up above some key levels of resistance on a Thursday and creating another bull flag. But we do know usually that Bitcoin does not pump into the weekend. So very interesting stuff happening right now. Is this market manipulation, or is this some legit market movement? So much going on right now. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. We're going to make a lot of videos today. So again, make sure that you guys are tapped in so you guys get all the updates on what is going on in this cycle, guys, because this thing is starting to move, and I'm going to be covering it every single day, just like we've done in the past. As you guys could see, the total market cap for all of the top 20 coins right now up 14%. So if you're holding some of these top 20 coins, you are going to be up pretty significantly, especially Hyperliquid. Look at this thing, up 27% right now. Very interesting. A lot of these DeFi projects, as I told you, is what I'd be paying attention to. Even World Liberty. Why is this World Liberty coming in at 21? Very concerning to me. Again, kind of weird. H bar also coming in under the top 20 now. Some of these coins very interesting, including, look, PayPal USD, their PayPal stablecoin, coming in at 29. Interesting. World Liberty Finance here coming in at a 37. Pump Fund even coming in at a 47, and Pump Fund's been moving, guys. Pump Fund is up 24% in the past 7 days, also up in the past 24 hours, 12%. Interesting, right? We do know that this thing has been known to move in the past and breaking some key levels of resistance here. This could be very bullish, as a matter of fact. Very interesting price action going on Pump Fund. Is this going to be something that, again, we could see people using in this altcoin cycle, or starting to accumulate now in hopes of an altcoin cycle? A lot of people posting, you could see this guy even talking about it. Huge level here just 6 hours ago. And again, this thing's starting to break up and turn green. So a lot of people thinking that this is bullish. Right here, you can see the sentiment. Overwhelming amount of people thinking that this is some bullish price action out of Pump Fund. Very interesting. Pepe also up 17%. These are coins that I'd be paying attention to. I'd be paying attention to these coins that have already made a name for themselves. The coins like Pepe, the coins like Solana, Ethereum, SHIB, these types of things. And some people would have said in the past, I'm not looking at meme coins and stuff like that. Again, it's about looking at stuff that has a proven track record, that is starting to break some key levels of support, in my opinion, or some key levels of resistance, in my opinion, and has a massive amount of holders, which all these top 20 coins are going to have a massive amount of holders. But again, does Bitcoin need to see a rejection? Does Bitcoin need to see some lower levels before we can expect to see some new highs? Interesting. Look at this price action, man. Just within the past couple of days, Bitcoin shooting up like crazy. Since the 18th, Bitcoin just absolutely going parabolic. Is this sustainable growth though, or does Bitcoin need to see a retest of some lows? You can see we had a lot of sideways price action going on in the past couple years, as well as here, right? Same thing. A lot of sideways price action. Right here, we dropped down 2014, moved sideways for years, guys, until we saw some bull action happen back in 2017. Bitcoin decides it wants to flip, create some new all-time highs. Are we going to see something similar happen here, right? We watched Bitcoin drop all the way down in 2022. Look at this. We're down here. We've seen a retest on Bitcoin. It wasn't enough. 2025, we drop back down. But again, is Bitcoin going to start seeing a run soon? I want to know. Let me know in the comment section. We're going to be following this, guys. We're going to cover some news on the channel today as well. So make sure that you guys are tapped in. Make sure that you guys are paying attention. Make sure you hit that bell notification so that you guys get notifications when I go live, because I could really go live at any time right now. But again, I'm paying attention to Bitcoin. I'm definitely active in these markets. I'm seeing my portfolio start to recover, which is great relief, right? A lot of people have been holding for a long time. We've been waiting for this moment. Some people have far abandoned their bags, but I know the majority of people that are following this channel are paying attention. Look at XRP also now up up 18% in the past 24 hours. Starting to make a move. This is what I'm saying. I'd be paying attention to, especially something like XRP. Um, Definitely gonna probably make some XRP videos today. We've seen XRP create this falling wedge plenty of times, right? Shoots up here, creates this falling wedge, shoots up again, falling wedge, shoots up. XRP loves to create falling wedges and then see some parabolic activity. We haven't done it in quite a while, but you can see here, it even shoots up, create this wedge, shoots up, right? Now we shot up, we're creating a wedge and we're already up 18%. Is this again a sign that XRP is starting to bottom? Is this a sign that the market's starting to bottom? We've seen this bull flag also form many times. It's forming on Bitcoin right now. But again, is the rule of Thursdays going to stay solid, or are we going to see rejection? I would expect to see some kind of sell off going into the weekend, but are we going to see another move up before that? We're actually going to pull up this trading view just so we can get a live indicators. You guys can see Bitcoin creating this bull flag right now as we speak on the hourly chart. We've seen a couple rejections, but again, this is solid price action. Is this a bull flag here, or is this a rising wedge? I want to know what you guys think. Could be a rising wedge. It could be a situation again where Bitcoin needs to see some correction after a big pump, but this is a key level of resistance right here. This 72K is a key level of resistance. If Bitcoin decides and wants to break up, it could very well see a big stretch all the way up to 74K, even possibly 76. I think some of these smaller time intervals will be very telling. Again, you could see this is crazy, man. Bitcoin is really starting to test some key levels. I just want to pull up some of these indicators that we've used in the past. Wow, it's been a long time since we've done this, right? I want to see some of these Bollinger Bands also, just to kind of see where we are in some of these zones. And again, trading on a 15-minute time interval is not going to be super telling, just because, again, we're not swing trading, we're not day trading. But I do think that this is a key zone of resistance, so I would be looking at some of these more smaller time intervals, again, just to see if we could stay above some of these levels. Very interesting going on right now. You guys could see us breaking out of some of these key levels here on the 4-hour and starting to trend above some of these levels. And again, are we going to see a retest of 68, that 68 range right here, and also the 64 range, right? Interesting, but our RSI is showing that we're kind of overbought right now. So that might be in tune also with saying maybe one more pullback before Bitcoin needs to start running. Very interesting. I do think that we're possibly looking at the cycle right now, or a possible recovery. I mean, is this the sign that we're going to start seeing an altcoin cycle? That's what I'm paying attention to right now. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. Is this another nasty fake out from the bears, or is Bitcoin going to start making a recovery? Again, a lot of people bullish right now. More people feeling bullish than bearish. Again, our fear greed index coming in now at a 61 today. Coming in at a 61, guys. This is some big stuff going on with crypto right now. I would definitely be paying attention, but also I'd be cautious just because Bitcoin up again 11% in the past 24 hours. We don't buy pumps. We look for good entry points. But again, is this an accumulation zone, right? A lot of big indicators that we've been using for years on this channel pointing to the fact that Bitcoin again in an accumulation zone. And that is why Ethereum up 20% today. Solana up also 13%, XRP up 18%, and still moving. XRP still moving during the time of this video. But this is what I'm paying attention to right now, these bigger cap coins, just because in my opinion, it's a little split right now, and those smaller coins are going to be very, very volatile. Whereas if Bitcoin is showing indicators of a recovery, we're going to see again Ethereum, Solana, XRP, these types of coins, these top 20 coins start moving. So I'm definitely looking at my favorite blockchains right now, which of course has always been on the channel, Ethereum. I've always loved Ethereum on the channel. Also Solana, 50-50 on Solana. It seems like people are starting to rally behind it, but again, Solana showing some BNB type activity in the end of last cycle, just as far as how many scams are being built on Solana. It seemed like every day new scam was being built. As a matter of fact, guys, when we started on this channel, there was very few altcoins. As a matter of fact, there was maybe 30, 40 coins in total. Then in our second cycle, there was maybe 3,000 coins. And then in that third cycle, which was our last cycle that was on this channel, there was over 2 million coins. So that just goes to show you how many scams were built. It seemed like every day there was a new scam built, and some of these contracts releasing multiple scams in a day. A lot of bot activity also, right? So are we going to see that again happening on the Solana network, or is it going to be a situation where we could start seeing a lot more solid coins? As a matter of fact, I do want to check out Dex Screener as well, just to kind of see what is popping, even though, again, I'm not going to be at this point in the market paying too much attention to tiny altcoins. I'm paying attention to, again, like things like Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Those are the main coins that I'd be paying attention to during this cycle. But as you guys can see, some of these top trending coins right now over here, over on Solana, right? It's not really moving very much. See, the smaller altcoins not really starting to see the activity that would be wanting in the altcoin cycle. It's still too early. Right now, the top movers again are going to be these coins. It just seems to be the same. This is what people look for at this point in the cycle. If it is this point in the cycle, again, maybe too early to say, maybe not. I do think that I'd be paying attention right now. We need to see a little bit of sell-off, but is it, right? Is Bitcoin starting to see sell-off, or again, are we creating a bull flag here, coming up against some key zones of resistance and starting to actually see a breakout here? This is looking more like a breakout. It's looking more like we're going to see a retest of some of these higher levels here at this 67K or this 76K. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin was at 76K by next week. I really wouldn't be surprised. And then possibly see big rejection. But look, possible double bottom here, possible double bottom here on the 24-hour, on the weekly chart as well. Possible double bottom, right? Bitcoin starting to break again above some key levels, some key moving zones right here. Interesting. We do know that Bitcoin again can see a significant run if it wants to break above some of these key ranges. So I could see why he was also saying maybe not a full confirmation, right? People are kind of 50-50, but I'm a little more 60-40, to be honest with you. I'm a little more 60-40 on the fact that we could be looking at a zone of accumulation here and a recovery on Bitcoin, right? Very interesting to see what will happen. Again, a little early to tell, but I do think that Bitcoin starting to see some good market movement. We've seen a drop in the interest rate. Bitcoin starting to rally at a time where Bitcoin would usually rally. So those are the things that I'm paying attention to, guys. We're going to be covering a lot more of these coins today, so make sure that you guys are tapped in. I might go live later on today as well. It's still really early here. It's about 6:30 here, so I'm going to get my day started. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is Bitcoin going to start rallying, or is this just another dirty fake out from the bears? And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.